Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I wanted to do, of course, another individual reading, and this time is going to be for Jennie. This video will talk about her current energy, her career, her love life, and any healing messages that we have for her. And to start off her video, I wanted to mention some of my, first impressions of her, and I've been rehearsing this in my head over and over, but one of the things that I really like about Jennie, but I'm not too sure that's how she is. I'm pretty sure she is, but I'm not like 100%, is that she seems to be a very confident person. The other thing is that it seems like she has like her inner circle or her outer circle. And what I mean by that is that it feels like whoever she has under her wing or whoever she's protecting and taking care of, she deeply cares for them and will protect them a lot. And then whoever's outside of like that circle of people she cares about, they're kind of like whatever. Like, I think she has a very good idea of who she will take care of and who she will bother to be with, and then who she will not really kind of even look at them, almost, if that makes sense. And I kind of want to mention that, so like that when we get into her reading, we will see if that changes or that is being reinforced, or if whatever comes through comes through. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was a big thank you to everyone that has been supporting my videos. I am very grateful for all the love that you've been giving my videos and for all the support and all of that. And I'm slowly trying to continue gathering that courage to continue with these videos, since I'm trying to change everything up and shift the energies of my channel so it goes more, in tune with how I'm doing right now and where I'm trying to be, if that makes sense. With all of that said, let's jump right into the video. So these are the decks that we're going to use for Jennie's video. So as I mentioned earlier, in her individual reading, we will check her current energy, her career, her love life, and any healing messages that go through. We have our tarot decks right here, and our oracle decks. So let's jump right into her healing messages to see how she's currently doing. So let's start off with her current energy. How is Jennie doing right now? Oh. Well, we got a couple just jumping out. So we have the 5 of Cups reversed, the 10 of Wands reversed, the Queen of Cups the Queen of Cups reversed, the 3 of Cups reversed, and the 7 of Swords. So I don't know how to feel, because some of these cards are kind of like this one's being reversed. Is it like a good sign? When we have the 5 of Cups, it usually means someone that is looking more into the negative side or is being a little bit more pessimistic. But the fact that it's reversed, it kind of shows that she's doing a very good job at trying to see what she does have and seeing the good things about life. Even if things are rough, she's trying to look at the positive side of things. But the other card that we have is the 10 of Wands reversed, and usually the 10 of Wands means someone that feels very burdened or feels like they have a lot of things and responsibilities to take care of. But the fact that it's reversed tells me that she doesn't see her... My first instinct was to say her job. So I feel that in her career, she doesn't feel overwhelmed necessarily. She knows that there's a lot of things that she has to do in her life, a lot of things that she has to balance out and take action towards, but it doesn't feel like she feels like they're a burden. It's just a responsibility, and it takes energy and time to get it together, rather than seeing it as something bad. Again, I guess they kind of go hand in hand, right? Like, instead of seeing the negative of what's going on in her life, she's actually trying to see the positive of it and realizing this is not a burden, or this is not something super difficult. It's just all piling up, and I have to do things one at a time, if that makes sense. But we have the Queen of Cups, so maybe there's something that she's not emotionally very content with. Because I said that Jennie strikes me as someone that is very confident, but this Queen of Cups reverse kind of shows this energy of someone that may be lacking a little bit on the emotional side. So I have a feeling that she has a very good idea of what she wants and where she wants to go, and she's focusing a lot on this masculine energy. And the masculine energy is the forward energy, is like go-getter, is the energy of someone that just continues moving forward and may ignore this nurturing emotional side of themselves. They just kind of get the job done. So I have a feeling that she may be leaning more towards that energy right now, and if that's the case, she may be not necessarily neglecting, but she may be kind of putting aside how she feels about things and trying not to overwhelm herself from that side of things, and trying to focus more on the material things that she could do, the earthly, these are the goals, these are the objectives, let's get them done. So kind of like if she had a checklist, she would just go through with them and get them done, rather than overworking herself trying to figure out what the issue is, or trying to issue in the sense of emotionalness. So is it emotionally fulfilling for her? She doesn't really care about that right now. It's more like, is this getting me towards the goal that I have in mind? If the answer is yes, then we're going to go through with it. If the answer is no, then I'm going to push it to the side so I can focus on something that I do want to do. So this Queen of Cups kind of feels like she's neglecting her emotional side, and she's trying not to communicate with her heart that well right now. So by heart, I mean emotions. So I feel that she's focusing more on the physical things that she can do. She's focusing more on the aspects of what actions she can take to move forward physically. This is all physical and action based. Yeah. The other thing that we have is the Three of Cups. So I have a feeling that she may be struggling to have fun right now. Usually the Three of Cups is the energy of someone that is having fun with their friends, is just enjoying life, is celebrating life basically. So the fact that it's reversed kind of shows me that she may be focusing so much on work that she's not trying to leave some room and space to have fun and to be emotionally satisfied. Because again, Cups is all about emotions, spirituality, and creativity. So I do feel this is specifically emotional satisfaction rather than having like a creative block, if that makes sense. And then we have the Seven of Swords. So to me, the Seven of Swords symbolizes a betrayal, but the other... Oh, and you know what's funny? Usually when I see the Seven of Swords, I automatically kind of block myself for some reason. Like I see that card and I always go like, what does that mean? I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. But with Jennie, I got right away that it wasn't necessarily a block. It's more of she's... Because the other meaning of the Seven of Swords is someone that is protecting their thoughts or protecting their ideas or something along those lines. So she may be focusing a lot on trying to protect herself, trying to protect her words or her ideas. So like it's kind of like someone that is leaving behind thoughts and ideas that are not serving them, and instead just taking the I guess the good source or the useful ones. So I think this card kind of goes well with this pile with this section right here of trying to think what is useful and what's not useful for her, trying to communicate what's necessary rather than communicate what is not necessary. Yeah, so it kind of feels like she's going through this period where she's trying to manage. No. So it's kind of like just box her emotions, separate them, organize them, say this is good, this is not good, this will be useful for what I'm aiming for, this is not useful for what I need, and stuff like that. So I'm going to take just a little bit more cards to... I'm going to take out a little bit more cards to get a better idea and sense of what it is that she is focusing on right now. What is Jennie focusing on right now? I feel it's her career, but I'm not too sure. So we have the Page of Wands. She's focusing on taking action, waiting for the right time to take action, listening to her intuition or that inner voice that says this is the right time. We had Temperance, but it was kind of reversed. So I do feel that she may... I'll leave it sideways because I'm not too sure. But it kind of feels like there's this block that she may have, and that blockage is, should I have patience or not? So it's kind of like she may have this of like, I want to take action, I want to get things done, but at the same time she knows that patience is her friend right now. Like if she takes things slow, if she gives time the time that it needs to do what it has to do, things will kind of I guess settle down, or things will be easier or something along those lines. I do feel that she may want to travel, but she can't do that right now, or she wants to express a specific message, but she can't do that right now because there could be some emotional blockage perhaps. We have the Four of Swords, so there's this sense of having to contemplate or having to take some time off. So that could be an issue. Like she needs to take some time off, and she is taking that time off, but that doesn't take away the fact that she just wants to take action and get things done, get that work done. I feel like this is a lion and a sword, right? So I kind of feel like this lion is referring to this energy of having to not necessarily let go of pride, but putting it to sleep almost. It's kind of like putting her ego aside, or something, or her pride or her image or something, putting it aside to get something that she wants. So she may, since I don't really follow Blackpink, I don't know how public Jennie is, and if that's the case, there might be the sense of, if she usually posts a lot online, then she may not be posting as much now, potentially. Or if everyone's doing like their own solo thing, she may be under the public eye. It may seem like she's not doing a lot, but I feel that's because she's contemplating and working something behind the scenes, if that makes sense. What else? Like, I don't know. I'm telling you, since I'm not necessarily like a Blackpink fan, I don't really know what Jennie usually does and what she doesn't do. So I'm getting the sense that something that she always does under the public eye, it's now not as frequent, or it's not as often as she usually does it. So now that clearly depends on what her normal is, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's another thing that I kind of want to ask. I'm just not too sure what it is yet. So I'm going to ask about the Queen of Cups. Why is this Queen of Cups reversed? How? Okay, we have 4 cards. Oh. We have the Two of Cups reversed. She may not be too happy with love. Or she may not be communicating. Oh no. Okay, so why is that Queen of Cups reversed? I thought it could be in relation with her image, or in relation to her career or something like that, but it seems like it's in relation to her love life. We have the Lovers reversed, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Two of Cups reversed, we have the Five of Pentacles. So, okay. So the Two of Cups usually means a spiritual connection, or a deep relationship with someone. So I do feel that she may lack a little bit in her love life, because we also have the Lovers reverse, and to me the Lovers symbolizes communication and opportunities, but I feel it's all of that in relation to love. I usually don't try to take the Lovers at face value, because I'm like, usually the Lovers doesn't always mean a romantic relationship, but in this case I do think that's the case, because we have the Two of Cups, which I mentioned earlier. The Two of Cups represents like an in-depth relationship, or a deep connection you have with someone. And then we have the Ace of Swords, and I was going to mention with the Ace of Swords that it kind of felt like she wasn't having proper communication, or she wanted to start talking to someone, but it wasn't really working out because it's reversed. So this beginning of trying to share ideas, this new beginning of trying to start communication, it's not really working for her, and I feel that that's an issue. So that kind of taps into two of the things that the Lovers means, a relationship and communication. So she's lacking that, and the Lovers reverse kind of represents there's no communication right now. But the other thing that kind of symbolized this idea of like she's not she doesn't have a romantic relationship that she's either content with, or there's just nothing in her love life right now partnership wise, because we have the Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles usually means someone that feels alone or abandoned, or they feel left behind, or they feel deserted, some sense of abandonment. So I do feel that she is alone on her journey right now, and it doesn't necessarily mean that she's not dating anyone. It just kind of, I'm getting the sense that maybe she's not dating anyone right now, and that's kind of bothering her. But the other message that I randomly got was that she could potentially not be able to travel around and meet the person that she wants to be with, because Temperance it represents Sagittarius energy, and Sagittarius energy is all about travel as well. That's why I kind of mentioned that. The Lovers is Gemini energy, so that symbolizes communication, duality. What other thing does Gemini symbolize? fun fact. Okay, to me, Gemini symbolize people. Usually, the keyword for Gemini is I think, and that's why I was saying fun fact, because to me, someone that thinks will usually probably. To me, Gemini energy is usually someone that is like, oh, do you know about this? You know this other thing? Oh, I just learned about this thing and this other thing, and I was watching this video and it talked about this and that. So yeah, that's why I was talking about that. Actually, the other thing that I got is that Gemini and Sagittarius are opposing signs. And by opposing is that they tend to see things very similarly but from different perspectives, or from two different angles, if you want to put it that way. So both have communication, but one is about normal day-to-day talk, chit-chat, communication, and the other one is like this higher knowledge of communication, right? So more philosophical. And then you have this one that is like day-to-day fun fact thinker, and then this other one is like that higher knowledge, right? So again, kind of goes with a philosophy. And then this one could, Gemini is usually this energy of short travels, so going to work or going from one place to the other. And Sagittarius energy is more about those long travels, so going outside of your country, outside of your city, those longer trips. The other energy that we do have here is also Scorpio energy with that Queen of Cups. So I do feel that Jennie may take her relationships very seriously and is very intense with those relationships. So yeah, there might be a lot going on in her love life because we have a bunch of cards right here with that. But I do feel that there's this other thing with her career in this area. And then here is also about her image/career, or her public image. So with that said, let's go on to her career and see what's going on right there. Let's get an overview of what's going on for Jennie's career. So we have space, we have context, and we have formation. So this space card kind of goes with the Four of Swords that we saw earlier in her current energy. And I do feel with context is the people may not understand right away why she needs to take some time off, or may not really understand the mentality behind it, because I think this is like a mental brick almost, or like trying to organize her ideas, or trying to understand what's going on with her life, or something along those lines. There's a sense of communication and self-satisfaction that I'm getting. So there might be some things that she needs to sort out first before she can continue with her career successfully. This formation card kind of symbolizes this energy of trying to organize things, or trying to settle things in such a way that she can start taking action again in a more powerful and successful way. So I do feel that right now she's going through a stage where she's trying to understand herself a little bit better, or trying to understand what are the next steps in her career, or like which ones she wants to take next, right? So let's see some energies within her career. So we have an eagle and we have the sea serpent. So the sea serpent, it may look blue, but it's actually the sacral chakra, which is orange. So this is definitely what she is passionate about, what she's driven to get. And this eagle goes along with the lines of someone that has a goal in mind and they just go and get it. Like they just snatch it. And this is all about optimism, confidence, creativity for sure. And since it has a little bit of orange, it's something that she's definitely very passionate about. We have this circle and this circle right here in such a way that it feels like she is trying to hatch this idea. Like if it's an egg, but more in this sphere of light. So it's kind of like she is concentrating and trying to understand what she's going for, and then just kind of like snatching it, if that makes sense. So this feels like this is something that she's been very careful with planning wise, being very cautious, being very meticulous. Is that the word that I'm okay, that's the word that came up, but I don't know if that's the word that I was even thinking of or looking for in my head. So that it kind of feels like there's this sense of trying to put the pieces together, try to settle them down, and trying to find very good communication, because the eagle is one of the apex predators of the air element. So it's all about communication, it's all about intellect, so her thoughts and her ideas, but it's also, since it's higher up in the key chain higher up in the food chain, it feels like she is very powerful within her career. She's just trying to figure out how to, how to get that higher perspective and being able to see what steps to take and what steps not to take and what is ideal for her career and what isn't. I also feel that there's a sense of trying to heal through water. What I mean by that is that she may be going through a period of trying to cleanse her throat chakra, trying to find the right way of communicating, I can speak, trying to ground her lower chakras as well as connecting it to her heart, because we have a lot of green right here. It also feels like she's trying to uncover herself somehow, because the face right here and the face right here are not fully exposed. So I do feel that she's trying to find herself again. I just dropped some cards, but I wasn't even shuffling. So yeah, there's this sense of trying to put herself together and trying to understand herself again somehow. Let's see. Let's get some more oracle cards. Let's see, what is in Jennie? What do you see for Jennie's career? Okay. So, I can't pick up the cards. So we have the Crown, spirituality. I feel that she's trying to understand herself and trying to get to know herself better somehow. We have the Angel of Silence. I don't know how to organize my cards now. We have the Root, connection. So I think connection and context kind of have something to say. And then we have Left Eye, knowledge. I think she's trying to understand herself better. Like, this is a big deal. I feel that I mentioned in the beginning of this video that to me Jennie was someone that had a lot of confidence, and I think she still has it. That's why, since she has that confidence, a lot of her work is based on her and being good with herself, or whatever experiences she's going through, like, they're important to her. Like her life experiences will be essential to the way that she either writes lyrics, or the way that she goes through with projects, or the businesses that she carries. So I do feel that there's this sense of trying to understand clearly who she is and what she wants in life, so like that she can continue with her career. So this is something of, she needs to be in a good place as an individual to be able to continue moving forward. And I think she has a lot of masculine energy to just push through, but I think she's also very conscious of knowing that she needs to find who she is and what she wants to do before she takes those steps. So I feel that this Four of Swords energy is still very strong and very present, of it's not the right time to take action because there's some inner healing that she has to do, and this inner healing is not necessarily like very difficult. It's more like trying to understand herself better, or trying to communicate with herself a little bit better. But it's not necessarily like, oh, she has some trauma to go over, or she has some very, very, very difficult obstacles, external obstacles getting in the way. It's like she decided to take a time out to make things a lot better for herself, to find a bigger purpose, or like a more meaningful meaning for her within her career. So this is to, again, there's like this sphere right here, and right here. Like, she's definitely trying to align herself again. Let's see. Yeah, we have Balsamic Moon, a time for healing. So there's this huge energy of trying to find herself again. And look, on the bottom of the deck, we have New Moon in Gemini, communication is key. So I do feel that it's very important for her right now to understand who she is and what she wants to do with her life, to be able to get a better grasp of the knowledge that she carries within her, and how that applies within her career. So let's see, what projects or blessings do you see for Jennie? We have the Five of Swords reversed. That's the other card that I usually get blocked when I see it, but it's reversed. So what does that mean? Five of Swords reversed. I'm getting this energy of being at peace somehow. So the message that I got was that since Jennie is just being herself and doing her own thing, there's no threat within her career, if that makes sense. Like, the only way she can improve is by pushing herself forward, and the only way she will fail is if she allows that to happen somehow, if that makes sense. So I'm getting this idea of like there's no competition for her, because she's the only one that can decide that fate or destiny for herself. I don't know how else to put it, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Like, whatever she sees in her career, there's no competition, because whatever she's doing is what's meant for her, if that makes sense. So she's working hard and she succeeds, that was meant for her. And if it doesn't succeed, that's also fine. She did what she had to do. I do feel that Jennie's of those people that her career and her work says a lot about her, and I do feel that she does take it very, like the work that she puts out there is something that she truly values and she truly finds worth in, or finds a lot of healing within. But that Hermit card kind of shows this energy of looking within, which is kind of what I've been talking about this whole time. We have this Angel of Silence, which is kind of being in that period of trying to heal herself, trying to ground herself, trying to understand herself better, trying to get a better idea of what she's looking for and what she is driven and passionate for within her career, and trying to get that flowing and that ease of communication within herself. And again, the sea serpent is supposed to be healing energy, healing with water, so maybe taking relaxing baths, going to hot springs or bath houses or something along those lines. The other cards that just popped out were the Two of Wands and the Seven of Swords. Again, the Seven of Swords is reversed, so I do feel that there's still a lot with the Seven of Swords reversed here in her career. I feel that she's struggling to gather her ideas communication wise. To get work done, she can do that. She can definitely do that. But right now that she's trying to understand herself better and get to know herself better, that's where she's kind of struggling with a little bit. She's trying to enlighten herself and gather that knowledge of who am I, what do I want to do, what am I looking for, what is my message, something along those lines. Like, she's struggling with that, but again, this is something that she put herself through, so it's going to be highly rewarded in the sense of by learning who she is and what she wants to do, it will make her work a lot easier, because then it will not feel like work. It will feel like a hobby, or it will feel not like something she has to do, but something that she wants to do. So it will just change her mentality about the things that she's doing. And that Two of Wands reverse kind of feels like right now she has this sense of not two cards just flipped again. She may have this idea or this sense of work is not coming in, or business cannot be done until there's this sense of balance, when she finally has the world on her hands, or on the tip of her fingertips. And by that I mean the world as in herself. We have the Page of Swords, and then we have the Seven of Wands. So yeah, there's a lot of fears that she's going through right now. So with this Seven of Wands, I'm getting the sense of having a lot of fears that she has to overcome. But I don't think these fears are too physical. It feels like these fears are a lot about her communication and trying to know herself at a deeper level. I don't think this is a very bad thing. I think it's just it's like kind of like the fear of the unknown, not really knowing or having an idea of where she's going within herself. So I do feel that this is definitely an energy of trying to get to know herself a lot better, so it could benefit her career. But I don't think this is like super bad, nor is it so difficult. Like, this is not like a major blockage. This is just, I guess, a stage she is within her career. It could be difficult for her, but I don't necessarily feel like this is going to end her career, nor do I feel like it's anything detrimental. It's just essential. I do feel it's very important, very necessary, it's definitely needed for her career to be better. So like that, the mentality that she has for her career is a lot healthier and better. I'm not saying that she had an unhealthy relationship with her career, but there's a high chance that before she will just kind of get things done, and now it's going to be with a better sense of purpose, or a better sense of this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it, rather than this is what I have to do, if that makes sense. But with all that said, let's get into her love life. So let's see what we have for Jennie's love life. Let's see. So one card for Jennie, one card for her partner. So we have listen. Okay. One for her partner. We have shift. Let's see, one card for her. Hold up. One card for the connection. We have time. and center. So yeah, it feels like before she can be with someone on her level was the words that I got, but I feel that it's more like the only way Jennie can be with someone that she will deem worth it or will deem an equal or something along those lines will be the time that when they're both balanced and centered. So basically when they're both healthy within themselves as individuals before they can be in a relationship. I do feel that there's still a lot of knowledge that Jennie has together for herself, a lot of things that she needs to know about herself, and I do feel that the partner that she could potentially end up with is someone that needs to go through a lot of shifts themselves as well, a lot of changes, a lot of transformations, and trying to love themselves and know themselves better. And I do feel that with her it's just understanding things better, having very clear communication. I feel like communication could be something that is a little bit difficult for Jennie. And by this, it could be communication with her partner, but it could also be communication within herself, which seems to be a very big deal right now with her that we saw in her career. So let's see, we have you're very close to achieving your goal. What about her partner? What do you need to release? And a bunch of cards just kind of popped out, but I'm going to put them back because I just wanted one for now. So it feels like there's definitely a lot of work that Jennie's partner has to go through. There's still a lot of things that this individual has to overcome, a lot of changes that they have to go through as well, a lot of fears that have to be overcome, I feel. Or it could be a lot of new things that have, or like the shifts could be that the environment is constantly changing, or there's a lot of things that are in constant motion that this individual has like a lot of things that they have to release, in a sense of control issues, or maybe release this idea of wanting things to be the same, or trying to release this idea of I thought things were like this, but why are they changing? So I do feel that this could be a very strong fixed energy of someone that can't really handle those changes, as much as it could be of an individual that may not have a very healthy sense of self, and because of that, if their environment changes a little bit, it tips them over, or it throws them off their loop, or throws them off their center and balance, because this individual hasn't rooted themselves. So it's kind of like if you had a flower and it didn't set roots, so when the wind blows, it just falls over. And if this was a very, I don't want to say strong individual, but if they had a very strong sense of individuality, or a very balanced self of center, or rooting themselves, I do feel that this individual, like the whole world could be burning and this individual will come out unharmed because of how they're well balanced within themselves. So if something changes, they have the certainty that they will be able to adjust to those changes, or change with this change, if that makes sense. So I do feel that the environment could be a big part as to why this individual has a lot of shifts going on. And with Jennie, I feel that this card of you're very close to achieving your goal is this sense of, I do feel that her career could be what she's definitely focusing on the most right now. It feels like she's about to end the cycle because we have a full moon, and full moon represents the energy of someone that is about to finish something, or about to end a cycle. And I had the moon cards on my hands, and I accidentally dropped one of the cards, and we have full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. So since it's Capricorn energy, this is the energy of work, public image, because Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house, which is how the outside world sees us, how our public status, I guess you could say, our work, our career, stuff like that, right? Everything that is the outside environment, or outside of our home, outside of our domestic life. So I do feel that with this Capricorn energy right now, Jennie is trying to end whatever cycle she has to end within her work, or within her image, or within the image that she portrays to the public and how she sees herself, and trying to balance that out somehow. So I do feel that that's where this lesson comes in, because we had Gemini earlier with her career, and communication is key, and before that we had the Lovers reverse. So I do feel that there's this sense of trying to communicate with herself clearly, to know what's up, to know herself better, and trying to end the cycles that she's going through right now. So let's see. The energy within Jennie and her partner. We have faith in your dreams. So I do feel that they may dream of each other, or they want to be together, or there's some sort of connection already. And if there isn't, what it means by have faith in your dreams is whatever wishes and desires and goals they have for themselves and their own individual paths, life is saying go for those and you will eventually meet. By doing your own thing, even if it feels like the paths are diverging into two completely different directions, they will eventually meet at one point. So it's kind of like if you had a circle, you have this moon right here. They started here, and one is going this way and the other one is going this way, so they're like the farthest apart right now. But eventually, as they move forward, they will meet again. Does that make sense? So that's kind of like the energy I'm getting. And with this butterflies right here, it feels like transformation is definitely needed. But it also feels like the moon or the night is like symbolic for them and their connection somehow. So I'm getting this sense of at night so when it says dreams, it could mean literally like when you go to sleep and you dream of something, as much as it could be dreams as in like your goals and wishes. So one card for their connection. We have right eye wisdom. So I do feel so we had the left eye knowledge with Jennie in her career. So I do feel that when she has her romantic partner, she will eventually get that other point of view that she needs to get that wisdom. So what I mean is that she will be able to finally internalize that knowledge that she has. So knowledge is usually the information we get, but the only way that that knowledge can turn into wisdom is when you start realizing, okay, how does that apply to me? How does that apply to my environment and to my surroundings? So that's when she will eventually pick apart this information, look through all the phases of life, all the meanings and all of that, and define herself the way that best fits her, despite the labels and despite the public image, despite the bots that she may have put herself in, or the bots that people put her in. Now, I have to mention, this does not mean that Jennie lacks confidence. This just means that she's trying to understand herself better. And that's why I meant by trying to break away from the bots and the labels that life may have put her in. The whole camera is shaking now. Okay, so one card for Jennie and one card for her partner. So for Jennie, what cycle is she about to end? So the card that came out was the Angel of Visions. So while I was shuffling, I was thinking of that Listen card that she got and thinking back to the Angel of Silence, which we got in her career. And to me, that Angel of Silence represents when you shut down your environment and you start listening to your inner voice, to your intuition, to your subconscious, to all of that makes her her. So to me, that Listen card is when she is finally in silence. What does she hear? So when there's nothing there, when you cut off the fat, what's left behind? That kind of idea. So when she gets rid of all of that overwhelming amounts of information or work or emotions, when she gets rid of all of that, what makes her her? So what's her essence, basically? That's what I'm trying to say. And this Angel of Vision kind of, with this moon on the eyes, it kind of shows this mask of maybe having her emotions at hand, understanding like, okay, maybe this is how I'm feeling, but not trying to understand why it is that she feels the way that she does, or trying to go a little bit more in depth with what that issue is. So I do feel that the cycle that Jennie is ending is finally understanding who she is at a very, like, a deeper level. So again, I'm not saying that she lacks confidence, nor am I saying that she's been fake or anything, not at all. It's just that she's understanding, okay, these are the things that I do, and she knows that. She feels it. She understands that. But she may not have gone deep enough to understand what that necessarily means for her, if that makes sense. But with that said, let's see, what shifts and what changes is Jennie's partner going through? Shifts and changes. Shifts and changes. Oh, the card flew. We have right hand empathy. Okay, next one. What does this person need to release? we have two cards. We have the Angel of Rain and Angel of New Life. Okay, so with the Angel of Empathy right here, I'm getting that the shifts that the person is going through is what I was saying. This person is very sensitive. They could be an empath, or they could, and by empath I mean someone that is able to feel how their surrounding is changing, in the sense of when the moods that people are in, the emotions people are going through, this person can feel them. And I have a feeling that this person doesn't really know that they have this ability, so they will just be getting this overwhelming sense of emotions and not realize that some of them are not even theirs. So yeah, those shifts and changes are very difficult for them. So let's say this person passes through a park and there's a bunch of children and they're all having fun. This individual, it just passed by, but all of a sudden they feel very happy because they can almost observe the happiness all of those people surrounding them are going through. But if they're at the store and everyone's very tense, and especially with the situation we're in, if everyone's very tense and everyone's very stressed out and everything, this person going outside could be very stressful for them, not because they're worried for themselves or their environment. It's just that they can easily, just like a little sponge, observe everything and all the energies all the people they're surrounded by are going through. So this person has a very strong sense of empathy, and that's why I'm saying that they could be an empath potentially. And one of the things that this person has to release is Angel of New Life and then Angel of Rain. So one of the things that I got is that the Angel of New Life, we have Sandalphon, and usually, I hope I said that right, and usually that angel represents creativity and music and all of that, which is, I was gonna say time, but no, that's Metatron. Anyway, but this angel is supposed to represent music and creativity and art. So I'm guessing that one of the ways this individual can release all of that overwhelming sense of emotion and change and that dynamic energy is by just making music or creating art or listening to music or looking at art. So it's just surrounding themselves with beautiful things like that potentially. And the Angel of Rain feels like one of this person needs to release is the overwhelming sense of emotions that they have. So to me, rain is water, of course, but water represents creativity, emotions, and spirituality. So I'm also getting with this Angel of New Life is that the change and shift this individual has to go through is having to understand, okay, this is how I see life, this is how I experience life, and then I will shift it this way so I know those emotions are not mine, or to know I'm sensitive enough to feel how other people are feeling, but that's not going to, I can control how I go about it. I don't have control over my environment, but I have control over what I do after that, or how I think about that later, if that makes sense. So there's this sense of having to adapt to this new life. So if this person knew this knowledge of how they work, it will help them shift their view on their own life, and then that will make a lot of things easier for them, a lot less emotionally deteriorating and more beneficial and helpful for them somehow. So let's see. Now I'm going to ask, physically, how can Jennie reach this individual? So the card that came out first was the Eight of Swords, and then a bunch flipped, and it was the Six of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles reversed. Then another card is the Devil. Okay, so with the Eight of Swords, okay, the first thing that I got, because this Devil card is very strong, and the first thing I got was don't lie to yourself. That was the first card that I got. The first word that I got, I feel. And with this Knight of Swords, I'm getting, okay, the Knight of Swords is Gemini energy, so I'm getting both don't be reckless, and the other word that I'm getting is communication is key. Again, that phrase that we got earlier in her career. But with this Eight of Swords, I'm getting this sense of not lying to herself somehow. So this could be a couple of things. This could be like she already knows who this person is, but she doesn't want to go with them because there's a lot of healing that they both have to do, or which is fine. She doesn't have to go for this person, because it feels like there's some time that has to be given. There's still a lot of trying to balance themselves. There's still a lot of energy of trying to get to know themselves before they can be with each other. You know, you need to be a decent enough individual before you can be in a partnership with anyone. Because there's healing that you have to do so it doesn't get in the way of your relationship, or at least. And what I mean decent is like, if this person is conscious that their environment is not the issue, but the way that they see their environment is kind of an issue, then that's good enough to be in a relationship with Jennie, in the sense of they can tell them, you know, I don't feel okay right now, but you're not the problem. I'm kind of the problem, but not really, and this is the issue at hand, if you want to put it that way. So it's kind of like, if this person is just conscious of what their problems are and what they have difficulties with, then it will make the communication with Jennie, for example, a lot easier, and that could help the connection, right? Like, they could be together despite having the issues that they have, as long as it's not an obstacle that gets in the way of their relationship. And what I mean by that is, they could have communication issues, let's say that's an issue. So then when they talk with each other, they can say, look, I struggle communicating, so please be patient with me as I'm trying to figure this out with you. And that could be very helpful. You know, we don't have to be perfect individuals to be in a healthy relationship, because sometimes some of the healing that we can do can be done through our partner as well. So that doesn't mean though that doesn't mean that you can't do things for yourself, right? Like, there's healing that they have to do as individuals on their own, and then eventually they will be able to come together and become a strong partnership, knowing their strengths and weaknesses, if that makes sense. Like, if they work on themselves, they will be able to say, this is what I'm good at, this is what I struggle with, and then when they come together, they can be like, okay, I know what I struggle with and I know what you struggle with, we can meet halfway. Let's put it that way. And this Eight of Swords and the Devil, to me, are very similar energies. Is the energy of lying to yourself, succumbing or kind of falling victim to illusions of things, or feeling trapped somehow. So to me, the Devil and the Eight of Swords are actually very similar energies. So I do feel that in one hand you have Jennie is conscious of how she's trapping herself within her own mind, and is trying to get herself out of there. So like, things are jumbled up, things are overwhelming, things are not looking too bright, but nothing is out of hand necessarily. And then you have her partner on the other hand, we have this Capricorn energy. So there's this sense of structure and this Saturn energy that could be like teaching this person some very hard lessons, limiting them a lot so like that they can work with what they have and adapt and work with their limiting abilities, if that makes sense. It does feel like this person is going through a very hard time trying to balance themselves as well with this Two of Pentacles. So this individual, we're definitely going through it right now. And then with Jennie, she is very successful despite not being completely clear-minded, if that makes sense. So there's still a lot of issues, there's still a lot of things that she's trying to uncover, a lot of things that she's trying to untangle. There's still a blindfold of not seeing things clearly, but she's aware of that, so that will help her trying to uncover that, unblind her, take that blindfold off. That's what I'm trying to say. And this Six of Wands is a very good card. This shows this sense of victory, and this shows this sense of being able to notice and see that things are going well. There's this sense of balance, action is okay as well. Like, she's victorious somehow, and this tells me that despite the difficulties that she's going through, that doesn't mean that everything's bad for her. Unlike this other individual, this person has a lot of work to do. But then we have the Knight of Swords. So I'm getting, don't be reckless. I'm getting the sense of they may want to quickly come forward with each other, because there's this sense of mutual understanding. The only difference is that if they were to stay together as a couple right now, Jennie will be hard carrying this individual. I do feel that this individual has a lot of healing that they have to do on their own, or else they will become a little bit too codependent on her own energy. Because we have the Eight of Swords and the Devil, and to me those are kind of, okay, they're not equals. They're similar energies. Like, they have very similar messages, and to me they both mean a lot of similar things. The only difference is that the Devil is a little bit more hardcore in the sense that it's a major arcana, so this is some this is a difficult period that this individual has to go through. But then this Eight of Swords energy is kind of like Jennie is just in the moment, not doing okay. In that sense, just trying to figure things out. Things are kind of difficult, but this is momentarily. This is not like super, super bad. This is just like at the moment that I'm connecting with her energy, this is just what's at the forefront. So yeah, this Knight of Swords is kind of like, you know, be careful when you connect with this person, because there could be this sense of instant communication and something that's grounded on nothing. That's what I'm getting. So it's kind of like on the surface level, everything's great. We are getting along. We love each other. We care about each other. But it could lead to a lot of difficult periods because there's still work that they have to do on their own, if that makes sense. But with all of that said, let's go into Jennie's healing messages. Let's conclude this reading and see what's up with Jennie. Let's see. Healing messages for you, Jennie. Let's see. We have the rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time, but it's reversed. So she may not again, we had the Eight of Swords energy earlier, so I do feel that Jennie may not realize how lucky she is, and may find it kind of difficult to be optimistic right now. Sometimes. Like, she is going through it, and even though she's trying to see things a little bit more positively, it's still rough. Like, she's still going through it. So I do feel that the rabbit spirit is kind of guiding her and taking care of her and helping her see that things are not so bad. So by that I mean that she may randomly be walking down the street and she may be going through it, overthinking things. And then out of nowhere, she sees like a very beautiful flower. And that kind of cheers her up again. So something along those lines. Like, it feels like life puts her something beautiful, or all of a sudden eases her career or her workload somehow in such a way that it's supposed to show her, look, we're here with you. We're here to help you in any way, shape, or form we can. But, you know, we understand you're still kind of going through it. But we're trying to, it's like kind of like putting like little gifts for her and be like, look, be happy. The other card that we have is Owl Spirit. You see clearly now. So I think the fact that she knows that there's a problem, she can solve it. So I feel that the Owl Spirit is bringing her that wisdom of like, this is the issue at hand. And that's helping her see a lot better how things are working out. The other card that we have is the Flamingo Spirit, Embrace the In-Between. So I feel this strong energy of finally understanding what the issue was at hand. So I do feel that by now knowing and understanding that the healing that she has to do is from within, and trying to just communicate better, trying to satisfy herself by finally saying, this is what I want to do because I want to do it. And there's no other reason that she needs. Just, I want to do it. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm going to do. So I do feel that the Flamingo Spirit is kind of like, embrace the in-between. Embrace that sometimes you don't need reasons to do things. And also embrace that sometimes you're going to feel things without knowing why you're feeling them. So, you know, kind of embracing that she doesn't need to know everything. But then also embracing that she can be in the moment with things somehow. Like, just living in the moment is one of the things that I'm getting. And also, you know, clearing some baggage, I feel. The other card that we have is the Squirrel Spirit, Believe in Yourself. So I do feel that with the Believe in Yourself is this whole energy of just trying to understand herself better by kind of working and understanding that the inner knowledge that she has is important, is essential, it is beneficial. So it's kind of like trusting her intuition a little bit more, I'm getting, or trying to be able to communicate with her subconscious. Oh, you know what I'm getting? You know how squirrels, apparently, I don't know how true this is, they have like their acorns and stuff. They dig them somewhere for later, but then they forget about it, so then a tree blossoms out of that. I think that's how it works. So because of that, I do feel that one of the things is that she needs to believe that, for example, her future self left little notes, left like little messages, or left checkpoints or things of that sort for her to for her to look forward to. Okay, time is like a crazy thing, so look forward to, but at the same look back to and realize, oh, I knew about this before, or oh, this makes sense now, or something along those lines, right? This is kind of difficult to explain, but it's kind of like, let's say you did something in the past. Let's say you're like, I'm gonna write this down for later. So then in the future, you look back at that note and you're like, thank you past me. If it wasn't for you writing this down, I would have forgotten about this. So that's kind of like that idea, like she is helping her future self, and her future self is helping her past self, and all of that is working together to help her present self somehow. So she needs to believe that those messages are true. That's what I'm trying to go for. And then we have dolphin spirit. This and that are true. So definitely a lot of things of trusting her inner voice, trusting that intuition that she has within her is very important. Then we have the badger spirit. Be fearless and bold. I do feel that with the be fearless and bold is not necessarily, again, it's not this lack of confidence. This is the energy of someone that is very cautious, and I feel that Jennie sometimes gets a little bit reckless because she gets desperate or she gets impatient at how cautious she is. And I do feel that what I mean by this is that sometimes she's so cautious, trying to maintain stability, she's so cautious about things, so that naturally takes longer for things to just happen, because there's a lot more work that has to be done, there's a lot more precaution that has to be done, and it's kind of like this slow but steady journey. But I do feel that sometimes she gets very impatient. It's like, I just want things to get done, and because of that she sometimes loses focus or just takes this big leap of faith in this risk. But it's not like risk taking in the sense of like, you go like, I can trust that everything will be okay, I'm just gonna go for it. No, this is the risk taking of being straight up reckless. It's like, I haven't figured this out yet, but I'm just gonna go for it, because of how impatient she may be sometimes. So I do feel that she likes to take things nice and slow because she has this stable, steady energy, but then at the same time she may lose patience with herself and is like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. And in life is kind of like, yeah, be fearless and bold, but don't be reckless. Don't be reckless, I do feel that sometimes she kind of stops herself and is kind of like, oh, I don't have enough information, or I don't have enough skills for this, or the right people, or the right network, or stuff like that. But then life is like, you don't need all of that. You just need a little bit. You just need this. And it's kind of like, just trust that you have enough. Trust that everything's okay. Trust that you have enough hindsight to get things done. You don't need to know everything to walk forward. You just kind of need to know enough. Does that make sense? And in her last message, the card gets stuck. And the last message that we have is a rhino spirit. Overcome any obstacle. So this is card number 50, but it reduces to number 5. So I do feel that changes is something that is very important. So I do feel that there's this sense of, with overcome any obstacle, is that life is, I don't know what else to say besides taking the card kind of like at face value. Is like, if it says overcome any obstacle, the fact that it's reversed. Let's talk about that. Since the card is reversed, I'm getting that she may kind of feel like she's on her own. She kind of may feel like she needs to figure things out on her own, or that she doesn't have enough of this or enough of that or enough of this other thing. But the fact that we have the rhino reverse is like, the rhino spirit is here with her, trying to tell her, try to find this balance between being reckless and being a risk taker. Trying to find a balance between being fearless and bold to take an action, but then to be cautious, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like trying to find this balance of how to overcome an obstacle without hurting herself or her environment, or trying to overcome an obstacle without taking too long. Okay, there's nothing wrong. There's this time of taking too long or taking too little is not the issue. It's more of like blocking herself or not. So like, she may feel like she's taking too long in doing something, but that's because she's kind of putting all of these stops and this red lights and this, hold up, maybe you should do this, you should do this other thing. So it's like her own way of doing things could stop her a little bit sometimes. So I do feel that this could be the impatience that we saw earlier in her current energy, but it could also be the warning that she's kind of getting in her love life when we saw the Knight of Swords. But I do feel that this other energy of believing in herself, trying to be optimistic and all of that kind of ties in with her career and her current energy of trying to be trying not to be pessimistic and being more optimistic and stuff. So what do you guys think of the video? I think Jennie had a very interesting message, I guess you could say. There were a lot of things where I was like, I guess there's a lot of work that she has to do, but I get, again, my idea of her self-confidence and stuff didn't really go away. If that makes sense. I think she's still very confident. I think she's very, if anything, she's very focused on herself. She's very focused on protecting herself and all of that. So I do feel that there's this very strong sense of her trying to get herself together. It seems like she has a lot of things going on in her head right now, so I guess it's very normal for her to want to kind of sort all of that out and organize those things. So I do feel that it was a very, very, very interesting reading to see that, you know, I do these readings and then I get to meet some energies in such a way that I'm like, I never really realized that, you know, some people could be this certain way, but they're still going through these other things. And I do feel that right now Jennie's going through like a momentary thing. Like, I don't think this is like super, super bad, as I mentioned earlier. So I do feel that this is definitely something that, like, if I look down, it's because I have the cards right here in front of me, so I'm kind of just looking at them. So it does kind of feel like she is just going through, you know, a little bump in the road type of thing. It does feel that it's more like, not necessarily spring cleaning, but it feels like it's this idea of trying to get everything laid out to have a stronger foundation before taking any steps forward within her career. But the other thing that I was kind of curious is, who do you think her partner is? I didn't really get any, you know, sense of, is this an artist, is this not an artist? I have a feeling that it's just a person with issues. I did not really get any like, oh, it could be this individual, it could be that individual. I didn't even get like a energy or a characteristic that I was like, oh, kind of reminds me of this person. Not at all. I just kind of got, this person just is currently just going through difficult periods. That's kind of it. So I feel very honored. There you go. I feel very honored to have read for Jennie. I hope you guys really, really like this video, and this is actually the end of all of BLACKPINK. It took forever, but we finally finished all of BLACKPINK. You know, there's only 4 people. You'll think I'll finish them fast, but then I interwove them with all of Twice and a couple of NCT people right here and there. So want it or not, yeah, it took a little bit longer than I guess it should have, but we're finally done. I hope you liked all of the BLACKPINK videos, and if not, I hope you at least enjoyed Jennie's video. You know, of course, continue supporting BLACKPINK, and also thank you for all the love and support you've given my channel and my videos. And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, love and healing from my part to you, and see you on the next one, whenever that is, with whoever that is. Yeah.